Hey everyone. Last week I came across a few tweets about Reliance Jio pushing about 5G network architecture option 6. Many people do not know about this option, and in addition, some of the discussions I saw had misleading claims about this option. So here is my attempt to clarify this as well as explain my personal opinion, which I have to warn does not reflect the view of my employer, clients or standards. So before we jump into discussions, you need to be aware of the basic 5G network architecture options that I have highlighted here. If you're not, I suggest you watch the video on that first. You have the link on the top right of this particular video. You can also find the link in the slides that you can download from our SlideShare channel. So this video was made nearly 2 years back. A lot of things have changed since then. In another video recently, I also talked about how I think that in future we will have option 2 only, as the current option 3 would be switched off and other options will probably not take off the ground at all. So you can watch this particular video as well. So the original proposal from Deutsche Telekom about the 5G network architecture options had 8 options. But option 6 and option 8 didn't make too much sense practically, so it was discounted. As a result, we were left with the options that you actually saw before. If we just compare options 1, 3 and 6, options option 1 is the way 4G networks stand today, right, as you can see here. So you have the eNode Bs that are connected to EPC via the S1 interface, and the eNode Bs are connected to each other via the X2 interface. Option 3 is what we call as the 5G non-standalone or NSA 5G today. In 3GPP specifications, this is also known as ENDC or EUTRA New Radio Dual Connectivity. In case of option 3, you have the 5G new radio working in tandem with 4G LTE or EUTRAN. The master is always the EUTRAN and the 5G new radio is the secondary node. You again have the S1 and X2 interfaces. Now, because the G Node B was originally designed to work with 5G core interfaces, when they have to work with EPC, they are referred to as the EN G Node B. The EN part actually refers to ENDC rather than enhanced, as some people think. Finally, if we had option 6 as part of standards, this is how it would look like. The ENG node B, so even though I told you, right, the EN stands for ENDC, I've just called it ENDC, ENG node B here. So the ENG node B would connect to the EPC and would actually do the S1 user as well as control plane. If you notice, in case of option 3, the G node B is only doing the S1U. In fact, option 3 has 3 different flavors, the 3, 3A and 3X. So we won't get into the detail here, but the option 3 which is shown here is actually option 3X. So it has the X2 as well as the S1 interfaces. A recent article from Mint, which is an online news source, points out the reason Reliance Jio is pushing for option 6. So option 6 will save costs for the company, allowing it to leverage parts of existing 4G network for providing 5G service, at least initially. So this is referring to the 4G core or EPC. But it will only be a better version of 4G with higher capacity rather than the true 5G the world is anticipating. So frankly, this applies to option 3 as well, right? Because today The 5G networks are based on option 3, and in a way it's just faster speeds. The non-standalone mode is not suitable for India, at least Jio, as the 4G network is running at almost full capacity due to an exponential rise in user base. So this is a good point, but frankly, Jio is responsible for creating this demand in the first place by offering data packages at really low price. China has a higher population than India and is roughly 3 times the size. But these kind of issues don't affect China. Why? And finally, in India, LTE 4G cells are 90 to 98% clogged, in contrast to other countries which are at 5 to 40% of the capacity. Now the way to get around this issue is to actually build more sites, right? And use smaller cells. So don't confuse smaller cells with small cells, right? So smaller cells is you reduce the size of the cells. So it doesn't cover a very large area but a smaller area. And this requires investment. If you don't charge a reasonable amount to the end consumers, you cannot invest in the network. Jio is learning this the hard way. I often come across people on Twitter that are complaining that they get around 1 Mbps on their 4G connection if they are lucky, right? And this is on Jio's network. Now, surely this is not true everywhere, but Jio is probably thinking that the best way to get around this is to launch a 5G network. So let's understand the issues that Jio faces, and then we can discuss if this would be a good approach or not. So we are going to discuss about frequencies. So a quick reminder that we categorize the 5G spectrum into three different layers: the coverage, the capacity, and the high throughput. So if you don't know about this, it's always best to watch the tutorial that looks at 5G spectrum in detail. And I actually recommend that you watch it first before going further. So let's compare options 1, 3 and 6 from spectrum point of view. So this is what the LTE carrier aggregated networks look like. I've just given a rough 4 carrier aggregation. A lot of networks have 2 carriers or 3 carriers. It doesn't matter. You get an idea. Then you can have option 3 NSA with different combinations as shown. Frankly, you can have a lot of different combinations, but I've just simply showed 3 of them, right? So, with coverage, with capacity, and with coverage, capacity, and high throughput. Then in option 6, as there would be no 4G carriers doing carrier aggregation, it would look roughly something like this. Now, if we are looking at the famous 5G requirements triangle, I'm sure you remember it from some of our other videos. If we roughly say this is what we can get as the 4G speeds with carrier aggregation today. If we go with option 6 only with coverage layer 5G, the speeds will generally be worse than 4G speeds. If we go for option 6 with a carrier aggregation of coverage and capacity layer, generally it would be better than 4G, but maybe not much. All depends on how much bandwidth is available for 4G and how much you have available for 5G. If we go for option 6 with carrier aggregation of coverage, capacity and high throughput layer, the speeds would be much better than 4G speeds. Again, it all depends on how much spectrum and how much bandwidth is available. Now on the other hand, if you do option 3 NSA with the same 5G combination but also do a dual connectivity with 4G, the speeds will be better than option 6 speeds. So what and how much spectrum, 5G spectrum, does Jio have? Well, they haven't got any 5G spectrum at the moment because 5G spectrum has not been auctioned in India yet. In July, they had requested for 800 MHz of spectrum in 26 GHz band as well as 24 GHz band. In addition, they wanted 100 MHz in 3.5 GHz band for running their field trials. So based on this information, we can speculate that Jio may have done some trials like this configuration. So we don't know for sure until they make this information public. So if we look at the famous 5G triangle again, what can option 6 do here? We can do enhanced mobile broadband providing better than 4G speeds. We can't do massive machine type connectivity as it requires a lot of changes introduced as part of release 16. Now a lot of these changes are on the access side. So one can say that a lot of these changes can be ported to work with option 6. It would also be difficult to do URLLC as it requires a lot of changes introduced as part of release 16. Again, a lot of these changes are on the access side, so one can say that a lot of these changes can be ported to work with option 6. So what's stopping Jio in going alone? The most important is there is no support from the 3GPP standards. So if there is no support from 3GPP standards, there is no support from devices because nobody is going to make devices for just a single market, right? The devices completely rely on 3GPP standards to give you an economy of scale. And then there is no support from main industry drivers and the ecosystem. So an example of this could be the test systems, right? So you have lots of different type of test systems like conformance testing, network vendors, IoT, right? So all these rely on the standards. So if you don't have 3GPP supporting a standard, then none of these things would be available. And then of course there are advanced features like network slicing, which is not available with the 4G EPC. So if you want to do network slicing and it's built as one of the killer features of 5G, you need to have a 5G core. And finally, a lot of new features like bringing wireless and wireline together is only supported with 5G cores. So if you try and do it with EPC, you can do it, but it won't be standard. It won't take you very far. So here are some references and further reading material if you want to dig deeper in this area. So hopefully this short introduction on 5G network architecture option 6 and why the Indian operator Jio is pushing for this is helpful. As always, please let me know your thoughts or any other information in the comments below. I look forward to seeing you on our channel sometime soon. Thank you and goodbye.